To the people who were complaining about this show after the first 2 episodes because it wasn't moving quick enough and you weren't getting any answers, this isn't the episode you deserved, but it's the one you needed. Hey guys, welcome back to the MCU HQ, and here's my review of episode 8 of WandaVision. There's a lot of spoilers in this episode, so the non-spoiler section of this video is going to be brief. So if you have not seen the episode yet, you might want to go watch it, but don't worry, I will announce when I'm getting into spoilers. So, let's get into this episode. This was in the little Instagram promo they put out, so Marvel doesn't consider it a spoiler. This episode is the flashback episode, so we get to see some various flashbacks, different events. We don't get every answer. We do get some answers. We don't get all the answers. There's still some stuff left unanswered. But we do get some of those puzzle pieces that we can slot into the giant narrative of this show. It's not the best episode. It's pretty much just exposition for, 48 minutes with credits. So for like 40 minutes, it's pretty much just exposition, a lot of talking, seeing a lot of flashbacks, so it doesn't really move the plot forward. That said, it was still interesting. There was some stuff they showed, I'll talk more about it in spoilers. It gripped me, some stuff that really pulled some emotion out of me, some stuff that had to be there, or else kind of the way it ends just wouldn't have hit as hard. So it was a necessary episode, both in terms of getting emotion out of the audience and for answering questions of the show, because I don't really know how there would have been any other way to answer the questions we have about what happened without an episode like this. Now, episode 7 ended with the Agatha Harkness reveal, and because this episode is a lot of flashbacks exposition, we really only focus on her and Wanda. We do kind of see Vision, but we don't get any Jimmy, unfortunately, Monica, Darcy, them. We don't really see them this episode. We're focused on Wanda and Agatha, and both of them both Catherine Hahn and Elizabeth Olsen did great, but I just need to commend Elizabeth Olsen. Her acting in this episode was fantastic. She almost had me crying at one point. It was great, and I'll talk about that in spoilers. We do get a cliffhanger, actually a couple cliffhangers, for the final battle, because next week is the last episode of this show, and it better be an hour minimum. What Feige said it was 6 hours. I think he did say the show was 6 hours. So people are actually expecting it to be exactly 6, but it could be 5.5. That's all I can get into non-spoilers. Basically, another strong episode, not the best episode. It's an episode that we needed to have in the show. It set up the final fight. It kind of culminated everything, tied it up with a bow. Just a few more answers we'll get for the final episode. This episode does have a post-credit scene, so stick around. So now, if you have not seen episode 8, go watch episode 8 and then come back here, because I'm about to get into spoilers, full spoilers. I'm going to go through all the big spoilers of the episode really quick. So, the episode starts with Agatha's origin. She was at the Salem witch trials in 1693. I don't know if they needed to show it. One of the best villain origins was Zemo in Civil War, and all he did was say it. Thanos just said his plan. They didn't show anything. I don't know if they needed to show Agatha's origin. Some people were probably saying they needed to show what her power can be, that she can absorb. I guess she absorbed the power and it made her stronger. But I don't know if we needed that. I think it could have been a cooler reveal if maybe Wanda tries to hit her with something and Agatha just tanks the damage. I think that would have been a cooler way to do it. I don't know if we needed that origin. Seemed kind of just shoehorned in there. And real quick, Agatha does say she was behind fake Pietro, but they don't answer fake Pietro. Was he multiverse? Was he just Evan Peters because Agatha just needed someone, so she just plucked a guy off the street? I don't know. I'm hoping it's Evan Peters. Otherwise, why not just bring Aaron Taylor Johnson back, or if he doesn't want to come back, cast someone else, unless they're doing multiverse. But next episode we'll get that because he's still around. We know Pietro Maximoff. That's what the pop says. Fun fact. If you look at the pop, it's in quotes. Pops don't put the characters in quotes. But they put him in quotes because he's not real. We know he's back. He was dealing with the Monica situation. So we'll definitely see him again, get some answers on him. That'd be really upsetting if we don't. Now, we go on our little flashback tour. Agatha runs Wanda through her past. So we get to see her as a kid, and there was this cool little reveal they did that the sitcoms that Wanda was doing for, WandaVision were sitcoms she watched when she was a kid. And they showed the shell hitting and then the second shell hitting and the light blinking and nothing happening. And Agnes said it was a probability hex, and Wanda said, no, it wasn't. If they want to retcon Wanda's origin, she already had her powers, okay, I guess. I don't think there's a reason to do that. I kind of just prefer that it didn't go off. I think that's cooler, but we'll see whatever they want to do. We get to see how she got her powers. Agatha actually made a nice quote about it. She basically said that to get over the death of her parents, she joined an anti-freedom terrorist group, which is exactly what she did. I think that was pretty cool. And it's cool, they show on the security footage, Wanda goes from up to passed out in a heartbeat, but we see Wanda's point of view. She walks in, the Mind Stone shoots out, the scepter blows up, and she sees the Scarlet Witch figure come out of it, like the headdress and all that. And then she passes out. And they're like, hey, she's alive. The Avengers Compound. This was such a great part of the episode. This is the part of the episode that was crucial. It wouldn't have worked without this. We see Wanda and Vision bonding at the Avengers Compound sometime after Age of Ultron. Vision just walks through the wall and he's like, I didn't mean to intrude. And he's like, yeah, I did. And they kind of sit down, they watch the sitcom, and she kind of explains it to Vision. They laugh, they bond a bit. It looked like they were going to kiss, and then they didn't. And I love those two. So I'm glad we had that, because seeing more of the dynamic between those two outside of the Hex helps to make us understand why Wanda would want to be inside the Hex. And then we get the moment where we realize that acting director Dickwad Hayward is more of a dickwad than we originally thought, because what he said is that Wanda broke into the sword facility, stole Vision's body, and then made Westview and brought him back to life. When what actually happened is she walked into the sword facility, went to the front desk, kind of upset, said she wanted to see him so she could, give him a proper burial because she knows they have his body. Then she gets buzzed in. She goes to Hayward's office. He shows her. He's like, there you go. We're dismantling him. I can't let you put $3 billion worth of vibranium in the ground, which that's a lot of money. So Vision's worth $3 billion. And Wanda breaks through the windows to go see him. All the people operating on him freak out. Hayward's like, hey, it's okay. She kind of goes over to him, does her magic on his head where the Mind Stone would have been, just like Infinity War when she did that. And she said, I just feel you, except in this one, she said, I don't feel you. A little tear. She left. She did not take the body. Now, at first I thought, well, maybe it was just off screen. She took it and they're going to reveal it. But then she drives to Westview, run downtown. She brought it to life, frankly. Look. All I'm saying is Wanda improved that town, okay? There's an empty lot, and she has this kind of like property deed that was from Vision, said to grow up in V. So they were planning on moving there if, the whole Thanos situation didn't happen. And she kind of kneels down, she starts crying, she freaks out, a ton of magic comes out of her, builds the house, takes over the whole town. We see everything go black and white, and her magic just creates Vision. And that's where you're like, okay, so she didn't take the body, Hayward, so you made her you deemed her a terrorist, stole property for no reason. God, I hate Hayward so much. Then she goes black and white, and that explains how they're in Westview. So she did create the hex. There was a question of, well, did Agnes do it, or they really gonna make it so Wanda had no part in it? No, she created the hex. So then we pop back out of Agatha's basement, and we see Agatha is in an actual witch costume, and she has they're magic, but ropes around Billy and Tommy's necks. All she has to do is pull and she'd hang them. I'm like, God, wow. And she says, I can't remember the type of magic Wanda did, but basically it deems her as a Scarlet Witch. Finally, got the name. And then we cut to credits right there, and I was not happy about that, but we do get another post-credit scene. So in this post-credit scene, Hayward says, are we ready to send him in? And she's like, all we needed was the magic to start up, and they have that drone with the magic going around. They put it into something we see that is like a white vision, which is supposed to be, I'm assuming, a reference to this from the comics, that chrome vision, and they kind of power him up. They're going to send him in, and the question is it Vision's body that they kind of just made that out of? I think it could be. I think it could be Vision's body. I did see a theory of how crazy would it be if all he remembers is that Wanda killed him, but not the context behind it. So he just thinks he was killed by Wanda, and he wants to kill Wanda for that. So there we go. That's where the episode ends. I want to make a couple predictions for this final battle of what's going to happen. A fight between Agatha and Wanda is inevitable. But what's even more inevitable is a Vision versus Vision fight. And if they do the Harry Potter thing and their two beams cross, I will not know what to do with myself. It'll be awesome. Billy and Tommy, I'm guessing they won't just be prisoners the whole time. They might actually help in taking down Pietro, especially because Pietro and Tommy were so close. That would be a nice little emotional climax there for the two of them. I mean, we'll see something with Monica again. Darcy's gonna... I mean, everyone except Jimmy's in the hex, so we'll end up seeing what happens there. But obviously, all of them are going to come back for some giant battle that will either result in Wanda just blowing the hex across the entire planet and then creating mutants, or it just goes away. I do think it'd be pretty cool if she kind of expands it across the planet. Vision gives his life to break it, and then there's mutants. I think that'd be a pretty cool way of ending it. There is one big cameo, and I keep seeing everywhere people are like, oh my god, it's going to be Magneto, it's going to be Xavier, I hope it's Xavier. Look, Marvel hasn't even announced an X-Men movie yet. You really think it's going to be Xavier? But I am eager. I hope it's at least an hour minimum, that last episode. I'm excited to see how they end this thing. Well guys, there you go. That was my review for episode 8 of WandaVision. We have one episode left of this show. And then Falcon the Winter Soldier starts a couple weeks later. So what do you guys think of episode 8? Let me know all that down in the comments below. Also, what are some of your predictions for the last episode? Let me know that. Also, leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.